Are you a Canadian citizen who resides in the US as a permanent resident, juggling Canadian and US retirement accounts? Are you feeling overwhelmed by multiple advisors? Well, in this video, we explore how partnering with a cross-border portfolio manager can streamline your life and can make the most of your cross-border investments. Let's dive in. Hi, Joe Macek from IA Private Wealth USA. Today we are going to meet Wyatt. He recently made the bold decision to move from his oil job in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, to the oil patch in Northeast Texas, USA, eager to pursue his opportunities in his new career. However, amidst the excitement of his new relocation, Wyatt found himself facing a daunting financial dilemma. You see, back in Canada, he had already diligently contributed to his RRSP accounts and pensions, helping secure part of his financial future north of the border. But now, with his new life in the great state of Texas, Wyatt is suddenly confronted with unfamiliar territory, 401k plans and IRA options. You see, most people have a tough enough time knowing what to do with their financial picture in one country, never mind two different countries. And not surprising for Wyatt, navigating this cross-border financial landscape also proved to be overwhelming. He found himself at a crossroads, very unsure of where to turn for guidance. With each passing day, the weight of this uncertainty of his financial situation grew heavier and heavier on his shoulders. Should he seek advice from his existing Canadian financial advisor, or would an American expert be better equipped to assist him with his newfound investments? So he did what any client would probably do, and he contacted his Canadian advisor. To his surprise, his Canadian advisor told him that he was not allowed to deal with him anymore, and he would have to transfer his investments out to another suitable advisor. Wyatt's situation just got much worse. You see, as Wyatt settled into his new life in the US, he had no idea that his Canadian financial advisor wouldn't be able to help guide him anymore. It turned out that the advisor wasn't registered in the US and thus not allowed to give advice to new US residents like Wyatt. Not a lot of people know this, but when Canadians update their address to their new US one, they essentially have three possible outcomes for their Canadian investments. First, like in Wyatt's case, the advisor might say that they aren't allowed to help them anymore, and they would have to find someone in the US. Second, his accounts will likely be frozen with no more trading allowed. Third, if his Canadian advisor was registered in the US, they could keep managing his investments, but in all likelihood, that was pretty rare, as most Canadian advisors are not cross-border licensed. Wyatt realized that he needed to find a new advisor who understood his new situation in the US and was dual licensed. You see, once you become a permanent resident of the US, you might find that Canadian advisors cannot provide the same type of service and advice to you anymore. That's because they're often restricted by regulations that limit their ability to advise clients outside of Canada. So if you're looking for financial guidance after moving to the US, you may need to explore other options like working closely with a cross-border advisor or specialist who is registered on both sides of the border. If you're a Canadian citizen now residing in the US and encountering cross-border financial challenges similar to Wyatt, feel free to contact me, Joe Macek at IA Private Wealth USA. I specialize in navigating the complexities of cross-border financial matters, ensuring that your unique situation is understood and addressed comprehensively. If you're an American interested in Canadian content, as you may consider a move to Canada, please feel free to jump over to my Canadian YouTube channel, IA Private Wealth, where I cover Canadian financial planning and investment topics, and also feel free to contact me at any time. So why should you consider a cross-border advisory team instead of sticking with a US or Canadian advisor solely? Well, it's because many Canadians and Americans move back and forth across the border for different reasons, be it personal or professional. This back and forth creates a maze of complexities, especially when it comes to managing investments, taxes, estate plans, and finances. Why is it so complicated? Well, because assets and interests are spread across both sides of the border, making it tricky to navigate without the right help. Heading into a move without careful planning can leave your financial future in disarray, potentially leading to higher estate taxes and added risk. It's vital to grasp the notable disparities between the Canadian and the US financial landscapes, especially regarding taxes, estate planning, and investments. If you're navigating cross-border planning, it's essential to seek guidance from a team that understands your unique situation. A trustworthy cross-border advisory team should comprise of portfolio managers who can oversee the investments on both sides of the border, financial planners well-versed in the intricacies of both countries, and tax tax and legal professionals specializing in cross-border issues. As we mentioned earlier, finding an advisory team that's licensed to give financial advice on both sides of the border isn't easy. Not many firms follow all of the rules or have the right setup. Most Canadian advisors can only advise on Canadian accounts, and it's the same for US-based advisors. For example, you might have Canadian assets like RSPs and TFSAs, as well as US assets like IRAs and 401ks. Working with advisors who only focus in one country can lead to potential problems you might want to avoid. Let's break it down further. When you have two advisors, the first thing you got to watch out for is one advisor's investment strategy and philosophy might clash with the other one's. Second, both advisors might unknowingly increase your risk by investing in similar things, inadvertently reducing your diversification. Third, neither advisor might fully grasp how their investment choices affect taxes across borders. Fourth, financial plans often overlook cross-border assets. Fifth, not pooling assets together can drive up management costs. And lastly, some advisors might suggest moving the assets to their home country, but often it's the case that transferring your money from one country to another might not be in your best interests. So what could be the best approach? Well, the optimal strategy involves engaging a cross-border advisory team equipped with the expertise, platform, and capability to manage assets seamlessly across both sides of the border. This is all under a unified strategy. Given the distinct tax systems of Canada and the US, there's a risk of expats facing double taxation. This occurs when both countries tax the same income within the same tax year. So having an understanding of the Canada-US tax treaty can stand as a powerful instrument for mitigating such risks and helping ensuring tax efficiency across borders. Additionally, it's really essential to highlight that Canada and the US share tax information about their citizens and residents. This collaborative effort empowers both governments to track down and penalize tax evaders effectively. So now that we know all that, what did Wyatt choose to do? Well, after Wyatt watched the very informative video that Joe Macek put together and recognized the importance of expert guidance for his cross-border financial needs, he promptly reached out to me via my YouTube channel at IA Private Wealth USA. Following several discussions and meetings, Wyatt felt confident in entrusting me with his financial accounts. His Canadian RRSPs and other accounts were transferred over to me on the Canadian side at IA Private Wealth, being held at National Bank Independence Network, our Canadian custodian. And his new Roth IRA and his US accounts were transferred over to me on the US side, with IA Private Wealth USA being held at the Bank of New York Mellon, Pershing, our US custodian. I was then able to advise Wyatt fairly seamlessly on both sides of the border with his entire investment picture without the need to transfer assets from country to country. Later on in life, when Wyatt returned to Canada and resumed his Canadian residency, he didn't need to find a new advisor. Thanks to our cross-border capabilities at IA Private Wealth USA, we could continue to manage his US investments while he was now back in Canada. With us, Wyatt knew his finances were taken care of on both sides of the border, providing him with peace of mind throughout his transition. Here's the bottom line. Navigating cross-border financial matters can be extremely complex, but with the right guidance, it doesn't have to be daunting. If you find yourself in a similar situation, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find my contact details in the description below. As of the date of the writing of this video, I am registered in 7 of the 10 provinces in Canada with IA Private Wealth, including British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and Newfoundland. I'm also registered in the great state of Texas with IA Private Wealth USA. By working with a knowledgeable cross-border advisory team like IA Private Wealth and IA Private Wealth USA, you can help ensure that your financial affairs are managed as seamlessly as possible on both sides of the border. From investments to taxes to estate planning, our expertise and comprehensive approach can provide you with the peace of mind you will need to thrive in your new financial landscape. So if you're facing cross-border challenges or seeking guidance for your financial future, don't hesitate to reach out. Together, let's unlock the full potential of your cross-border wealth. Did you know that navigating the uncertainties of the markets and your finances is generally smoother and less stressful with the support of a portfolio manager? Studies have consistently shown that individuals who work with advisors tend to accumulate up to 3 times the net worth on average and exhibit higher levels of happiness and lower levels of anxiety than going it alone. Do you want to know more about the amazing benefits of Roth IRAs and other great financial concepts? Well, click here to learn more about these amazing strategies. We'll see you soon.